Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a month since I last posted a video on here, and in that month a lot has happened. And if you've been following me over on my Instagram, or perhaps you've seen on my community posts tab, you'll have seen that 2 weeks ago I actually became a mum to my gorgeous daughter Aurelia, and it has just been the most magic, incredible, special time of my life, and I've just been loving every moment of it. So I took a little bit of time out just to really focus on her and my little family and learning how to be a mum. I've just never been happier. So I thought I'd better start the video with that, just so that you know where I've been and what I've been up to. You may also notice I'm in a slightly different room, and that's because not only have we had a baby, we've also bought a house and moved into our new home. But there's been a lot of change, a lot going on, and I'm really excited to share it all with you in the coming weeks and months. Now that I definitely feel much more myself. For me, pregnancy, towards the end in particular, really took its toll on me. Mainly from a fatigue point of view. I would find myself unable to do things. Even if I'd slept all day, I would just always feel tired. Whereas now that I've got a newborn baby, even though I'm kept up from the hours of 1 till 5 a.m. every day, after I've had a sleep, I at least feel like I've slept. So I do feel like I've got much more energy despite sleeping significantly less. It's very strange. I think it's something to do with like postpartum hormones that are keeping me going. But nonetheless, I'm happy because I'm back. I'm making videos again, and that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy sharing things I'm passionate about with you. I enjoy talking with you in the comments. So although I now don't have as much hands-free time to type back, I'm just really excited to be back and making videos and engaging with you all. Now, the topic of today's video, I thought I would go back to my roots. I will be doing some more style videos and secondhand videos, but I wanted to go back to my roots, which is sharing the ways in which you can live a luxurious and rich lifestyle, but in a more frugal and cost-effective way. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 cheap everyday habits that I've adopted that enable me to lead a rich and fulfilling lifestyle. And as always, I'm going to preface the video and say that the idea of a rich lifestyle, that can be interpreted differently based on who you are. And when you are deciding how you want to live your life, it's always good to identify what makes you feel rich. Of course, there's rich in the literal manner, which is rich monetarily. But I also think rich can mean something else. For me, rich means having time to do things that I enjoy. It means eating well. It means feeling good about myself. It means spending time with people that I love and enjoy their company. So please don't take the word rich as literally as just the monetary angle. Of course, if being rich and having lots of money is something that you really value, then of course incorporate that into the way that you lead your life. But for me personally, all of those other things that I just shared with you are more so my priority, alongside having financial stability. Another reason that I wanted to share this video is now that it's not just myself and my husband and there's another little life depending on us, it's something that I'm going to be more conscious of, you know, to be smart with money, and also to instill that in Aurelia as she grows older, to really understand and value hard work and money and spending it in a clever way. And if while watching this video you've got your own tips and tricks or things that you do in your life that save you money on a daily basis, but also contribute to having a more luxurious and rich, fulfilling life, it may help me, but it may also help others who are also watching the video and reading the comments as well. That was quite a long introduction, but without further ado, let's get into 10 everyday cheap habits that I do that contribute to a more rich and luxurious lifestyle. Okay, starting off with habit number 1. Now, this is something that I've only recently started doing and adopting, and I think I saw it on TikTok somewhere, and it's really, really effective. And that's to adopt a day each week where you have a no spend day. Now, I don't know about you, but very often I will just flippantly buy little things here and there, whether it be a quick coffee, whether it be buying something quickly on Amazon. We're all guilty of it. And I think by becoming much more aware of what you're spending, particularly if you kind of dedicate one day to doing it, you start to track and see how quickly and nonchalantly you'll just randomly spend money. And it's so easy to spend money now. You've got your card attached to your phone, everything's contactless, everything's on PayPal. It's just really easy to spend money. So I think if you can pick one day a week where you just don't spend anything, that very, very quickly adds up over time. Another great thing about this method, if there is something that you've seen that you like, by having the no spend day, you're sort of forced to wait a bit longer and to really reflect on if it's actually something that you want and it's actually something that you need. So let's say you see something online and you really want it, but then you remember, today's my no spend day, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. There is a chance that maybe 24 hours later, you've completely forgotten about the item, and maybe you actually didn't really need it. Maybe it was just for that sense of dopamine, or you're just a bit bored. So I try to do my no spend day on a day that I'm at home, so I'm not needing to buy, you know, emergency provisions, train tickets, parking, whatever it might be. Now, of course, this might not be possible for everybody, particularly if you're somebody that does need to leave the house every day, whether it be with kids, elderly family, whatever it might be. So you could put in a couple of exceptions. So it could be a no spend day except for the parking at work, or except for certain expenditures that you really do need to spend, sort of necessities, if you like. You can really choose how strict you want to be with this rule, but I really like having this rule because it really does make me kind of sit back and evaluate what I'm spending before spending it. You may be asking, how does this contribute to a more luxurious lifestyle? And I think having that sense of knowing and control over yourself is in its own way a bit of a luxury. We've kind of become controlled by marketing. We've been kind of brainwashed into just buying loads of stuff all the time. I think by just having that day to really reflect and be strict with yourself, it gives you the power back. It's placing the power in your hands and really allowing you to think in a more cohesive and all-rounded way. And for me, I've just really enjoyed it. It's difficult at the start. Not every time do I get it 100%. There are times when maybe I've forgotten, or perhaps there is just something that I really need to buy there and then. But generally, I found this is a really great way just to have one day out of those 7 days in a week where you go to bed at the end of the day and you know that you have saved yourself from spending money that you didn't need to spend. So if you do give this a go, do let me know. I would love to hear how you get on. Maybe if you learn something about yourself, perhaps your spending habits, or maybe you spot a trend in when you're more likely to spend. Is it at bedtime when you're scrolling in bed? Is it on your lunch break when you just want a little pick-me-up? You may actually learn something about yourself in the process. Habit number 2. Now, on the complete flip side of the coin to point number 1, this is actually about spending money, but spending it well on things that you use every day. So what I mean by that is, if there is an item that you use every single day, it's something that you religiously use, I really do think that buying well of that item will save you money in the long run. And when I say buy well, that doesn't mean buy expensive. It just means buy quality. I think there is a disjunct between quality and expensive. Expensive doesn't always mean quality, and quality doesn't always mean expensive. There are brands out there that do offer quality at an attainable price point. And this can be done either secondhand, which you'll know I'm a huge advocate for, and I'll be coming on to that later in the video, or discovering brands that offer really good quality at attainable price points. So in order to do this, what I did was I asked myself, what are the items that I use every single day? We've got a toothbrush, we've got good underwear, we've got skincare, and we've got basics like things I use around the house, cutlery, mugs, things that I will use every single day that I don't want to be replacing all the time. If it's an item that I genuinely use every day, I'm talking every single day, then I'm more than happy to spend that little bit extra. I'm not talking spending, you know, hundreds of pounds, I'm talking a little bit extra just to buy that quality. And in turn, it means that I'm not having to replace these items all the time. It means that I'm actually enjoying using them as well. And I always try to share with you some of my favorite high quality yet affordable brands. And a brand I want to mention today is actually an underwear brand. Now, having good underwear can change not only how you feel, both from a comfort perspective, but also how you look. And as I've just become a mum, I've suddenly developed a larger chest, which I've never had before, and I'm quite enjoying it actually. But I wanted to share this brand with you because not only are their bras absolutely beautiful, beautiful quality, they're comfortable, they're really well made, and they are completely seamless. I'm actually wearing one today with this cashmere top, and you would never know. And having good underwear, I don't know what it is, but it really does change how you hold yourself. And I think it's just one of those little luxuries. Most of us wear a bra every single day. And I think just having good bras, good socks, nice pajamas, as I mentioned, things you use every day, really does make a big difference to just day-to-day life. So this here is one of my bras by Comfelie, and it is just gorgeous. It's got this almost champagne sheen to it. I've got a couple of their bras, and I'm such a big fan of these bras. Not only are they really supportive with nice thick straps, they're also seamless. They don't have any wire in them. I don't like bras with wire. It cuts into me. I think it makes kind of an odd little dimple in your clothing. These are nothing like that. They come in a really wide range of sizes as well, so they're an inclusive brand. They also have a really thick back closure, which again just adds to that support if you're somebody that values that. And they've got removable little cups, so if you want that extra bit of padding, you can wear it, or you can wear it without as well. So I'm a huge fan of these. But the best part is, not only are they, as I say, gorgeous quality, they also come at a really good price point. And as I say, you don't need to spend loads to have high quality. You just need to know where to go, where to shop. And that takes time, that takes trial and error. But if you are somebody that wants to treat yourself and enjoy a really nice, supportive, flattering bra, I can't recommend this brand highly enough. The size I'm wearing is a medium. They do have a size chart on their website, but they go from a size small all the way to a 3XL plus. So hopefully that covers quite a wide range of sizes. I do always try to showcase brands that have an inclusive size range as much as I can anyway. What I also love about their bras is they have this really nice kind of circular sculpted shape to them. Do you see that? As I've started breastfeeding, the shape of my boob is no longer kind of the round shape it used to be. It's kind of more fitted for breastfeeding, which is totally fine and totally natural. But it is nice to pop on a bra that gives you that kind of rounded shape. So I'm really enjoying wearing these. As I say, I've got this really beautiful champagne color. I'm also wearing today a shade which is like a pinky peach color. And then the third style that I've got is this gorgeous scalloped detail. And this is in more of a beige tone, but they have so many gorgeous different colors, different materials, different silhouettes. So I would highly recommend taking a visit to the website, particularly if you are in the market for a little bit of a bra upgrade. I really do believe that when you have nice underwear on or nice PJs, it really changes how you hold yourself. Maybe that's just me, but a good bra for me really sets me off on the right foot at the start of a day. And I do have a discount code for you if you are looking to treat yourself and you're in the market for some new underwear. I'm gonna leave the styles that I've got down below, and I'm also gonna leave the discount code for you below. I'll probably put it somewhere on the screen as well, but I have no doubt in my mind if you do try one of these bras, you will love them. I wear mine all the time, and they're just really nice because they don't feel like you've got a bra on. They just feel like a little top or something. They don't feel uncomfortable. I'm a big fan, and these bras are really affordable. They feel so much more expensive. They feel at the level of some of those premium luxury bra brands, but without the extra zeros on the end. So I wanted to share that brand with you. But another little trick I use for spending money, particularly when it comes to kind of deciphering if something is worth the price or not, is I use the £1 per wear rule. So if something is £20, I ask myself, will I wear this 20 times? And if I would, for me, that seems like a good £1 per wear return. Now, this doesn't work with everything, particularly things like occasion wear. But when it comes to day-to-day things, whether it be my Stanley cup, which is a lot of money, but I use it every single day. I've definitely used it more than 60 times. Whether it be my glass Tupperware, whether it be my slippers. For me, that's a really great way to evaluate an item's value is £1 per wear. Maybe it's £2 a wear, maybe it's 50p a wear. You can choose your own parameters based on your finances and your budget. I've been using £1 per wear for many years, and that is what suits me and my lifestyle. Moving on to tip and habit number 3, and that's to pick a day a week where you find something to sell. And this is a bit of fun. It kind of forces you to look at what you've got and to ask yourself, do I really need that? Or could I sell it? Could I make money from that? Could I make space in my wardrobe with that? Could that go to a better home and be used by somebody else much more than I'm using it? So one day a week, I pick a day and I make it my challenge or my task to go around the house and to find something to sell. Now, you could actually go around the house and find 5 items to sell or 2 items to sell. I've sort of stuck to one. Sometimes I find more than 1 item, but I try to every week find 1 item in the house that I no longer use, I no longer wear, maybe it no longer fits me, as is the case at the moment for me. But this is a really great way to be constantly evaluating A, what you've got in your house, and B, to enable you to make just a little bit of cash on the side. You never know, you may just take a look in your wardrobe and actually realise there's quite a lot in there that you don't even like, you don't even use, you don't even wear. And there are loads of places you can sell things. You can use Vinted, Depop, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. There are so many ways to sell things that you no longer need. Or if perhaps you don't actually want to sell them and you want to donate them, you can take them to the local charity shop. But I love this have a day to find something to sell kind of rule. It's really, really simple, but if you are somebody that's finding 2 or 3 things a week, by the end of the month, you may have sold over 10 items, which could equate to £100, it could equate to £200. It's just little things you can do, little habits that you can adopt that over time really do pay off, both from a financial point of view, but also from a clarity point of view, from your space, your environment. And I think your environment and the space you live in definitely contributes to how luxurious your life feels. I like to have clarity, I like to have space, and as somebody that loves to shop as well, it's very important for me that I stay on top of selling or donating items that I don't use. The book I've mentioned so many times on here, but I'll mention it again, is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo. I'll link it down below for you. It's brilliant if you're somebody that is still coming to terms with how to discard items, because I know it can be hard. I know that if there's something that you feel an emotional attachment to, it's not easy to get rid of it, but sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, and this book is really great at providing ways and a method to understanding when to discard and when to keep something. Moving on to number 4, and something that I really think contributes to having a luxurious and rich lifestyle is what you eat and consume. And the cost of living crisis, food is getting astronomical. Our food shop, it feels like it's doubled in the last year or so. It really does. And something that I've started to do is to start making my own bougie food. I'm going to explain what I mean. There are certain foods out there that I love, but a lot of the food that I really love tends to be, unfortunately, the more pricey food. I like to eat organic, I like to eat high quality, but over time, if you look at your expenditure, and I have looked at my expenditure, you start to notice where those little bits are that you are spending that extra bit of money. So what I've started to do is to identify what those are, and then to start looking at ways that maybe I can make my own at home. Maybe I can buy the raw ingredients and have a go at making it myself. So when I was looking at my expenditure, I noticed I liked to spend quite a lot of money on granola. I know that sounds bizarre, but I was buying quite a premium granola, and the granola that I was buying was from a brand called Impact, and it's absolutely delicious, but this comes at quite a hefty price point, and I'm talking close to £10 a bag for this tiny little bag. I know, it's crazy, but for me, if there's something that really makes me happy in the morning and I really enjoy it, I thought, you know what, I deserve a little treat. But then what I did was I looked at the ingredients and I actually thought to myself, I can make that myself. There are so many other foods and bits and bobs that I find myself buying that I actually could make myself, whether it be the Reese cup style chocolates that I buy, whether it be a really nice chicken and leek puff pastry pie. All of these things I can make myself at a much more affordable price point. So I did end up making my own granola, and honestly, my husband and I have been obsessed with it. I am going to share the ingredients down below because it is the most simple thing to make, but it's absolutely delicious with Greek yogurt, honey, and some berries. I've actually got a little bit here in this Tupperware tub, and all it is almonds, walnuts, pecans, coconut chips, chia seeds, maple syrup, olive oil, cinnamon, and sea salt. It's just that, mixed up in a bowl and then baked in the oven. Now I've kind of guessed at how they make it, but honestly it is just delicious. And to buy all of those ingredients, it cost me about £12, and I probably made about 4 tubs of this. This is our last one, so I actually need to make it again soon. But I made 4 tubs for the same price that it cost me for this tiny little 340 gram bag. It's crunchy, it's nutritious, it's packed with protein, and it's really given me a new kind of perspective on what I eat. And so now what I'm doing is whenever I'm eating something, I'm asking myself, is there a way I could make this cheaper? Could I make this in bulk? Could I find a way to cut back on this cost, but actually to make it myself and to have more of it and to have more control over what's in it? Other ways that I incorporate this method into day to day is little things like cucumber and water, cucumber and lemon. If there's mint, perhaps you like a mint water. Really small things that you can do. They don't cost a lot, or they certainly cost less than if you were to buy infused water from the shop, but they just add that little bit of finesse to day-to-day life. And it's a really simple, easy way to learn new recipes, but also to eat high quality food that doesn't cost a lot. So as I said, I'm gonna leave my own kind of version of the recipe down below. I kind of made it up a little bit using the ingredients that I was given, but I highly recommend you give it a go because it is just so yummy, particularly if you are somebody that likes a yogurt bowl or you're more of like a continental style breakfast eater. Alex and I both absolutely love it. Number 5, and on the topic of food, this is one that's sort of obvious, but it is something that I've started doing more so now that we've moved house and we've got a bigger freezer, and that's to buy food when it's on sale and freeze it. Now there are some foods that you can't freeze, or you sort of need to read up on what can be frozen and what can't, but generally speaking, if we see something that is on sale, perhaps we don't need it there and then, but if it's on a really good discount, we'll buy it and we'll freeze it. And it's really paid off in dividends, particularly in my postpartum era, where we've not had as much time to go out and do food shops, or we've not been as organized as we usually would be. But there is something really nice about seeing something at a high discount, putting it in the freezer, forgetting it's there, and then on those days where you're like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna have for dinner? Or we've not got much in the fridge, looking in the freezer and realizing you've got some absolute gems in there. It really, really is like a little gift that keeps on giving. And on that note, it's really good to work out when your local shops or greengrocers or butchers, when they have their sort of discount time of the day. And we've worked it out at our local Waitrose. Waitrose is definitely one of the more premium supermarkets to shop at here in England. And I do like, as I've mentioned, I do like high quality food, but I don't like spending the full price on it. We worked out that in that last hour before closure, that's when they start putting the yellow stickers on things. So that's when we'll go and do our shop. Now, we don't just buy things for the sake of them being on sale, but very often we see things that might just be really nice to have when we're low on stock, or if we've got guests over, or if we just want a little treat. So we do like to plan our food shopping around the time that the yellow stickers get put on the food. And in this way, we've saved ourselves hundreds of pounds over the years, but we've also been able to enjoy good quality food, whether it be frozen, or perhaps sometimes we just eat it on the night we've bought it. But don't be afraid to freeze food. Just make sure that you do your research on kind of freezing times, and there are certain things that actually can't be frozen, so make sure you kind of brush up on what those are as well. Number 6, and another thing that I've mentioned on this page many, many times, but it's something that I continue to develop into my routine, and that is doing home beauty treatments. Particularly now that I'm not leaving the house as often, I don't have as much time, I like to do the majority of my beauty treatments from home. Now there are some that I can't do, and those are things that maybe are more medical or more invasive. But when it comes to things like waxing, laser hair, eyebrow dyeing, things like that, I generally do them all from home. Not only does this save me money, it also gives me more control over my time. I don't have to book in, I don't have to leave the house, I don't have to find somewhere to park. So for me, going back to my initial statement, that to me is luxury because it's giving me my time back. It's enabling me to have more control over when I do things. And some of my favorite beauty treatments are doing home eyebrow dyeing. I just use a really affordable kit. I think it's about £12 on Amazon by a brand called Isla. I'll leave them linked below. I've used it for many, many years. I also do my own waxing, just with a really simple waxing kit. I also use a home hair laser removal kit as well. Some areas of my body I wax and some I laser hair removal. The one thing I don't do myself is my nails. And my rule towards home beauty is if I can do it similar to the standard of a professional, I'm not saying it's at the same standard, but if I can do it to a standard that I'm happy with, I'll do it myself. When it comes to my nails, there is no way I'm doing those myself. They will just look a complete mess. So I am happy to spend that little bit extra on having my nails done. But generally, I do the majority of my hair masks, my facials, things like that from home. And then if it is a really special occasion or it's a gift or something like that, then I will go and get it done professionally. But day to day, as like a daily habit, I do it from home. I do it myself, and admittedly it may not be perfect at the start, but practice does make perfect, and over time you'll get there. And I actually really enjoy just having a bit of a Sunday afternoon pamper session, and I try to do it once a week. I'll do my eyebrows, I'll do a little face mask, I'll do a hair mask, I might do a bit of hair removal if I've got time, and for me that's what works. But it definitely saves me money, and I think it's just one of those little things that you can do just to cut costs, but without compromising on having those life luxuries that make you feel and look great. Number 7, and it wouldn't be a Monica video without talking about secondhand fashion. You'll know, I buy about 90% of what I wear secondhand. In fact, not just what I wear, what I own, whether it be homeware, whether it be my baby's clothes, my clothes. Even now that we're coming up to Christmas, I'll be doing a lot of secondhand Christmas shopping, and that'll be in a separate video. But buying secondhand doesn't mean you compromise on luxury. If anything, I think it actually opens more doors to being able to afford luxury. There are so many items that I own in my wardrobe that I would never have been able to buy firsthand. It just wouldn't have been in my budget, but by buying things secondhand and by scouring the secondhand market, I've been able to own luxury pieces, designer blazers, cashmere scarves, really high quality leather boots. And I think the thing about secondhand is once you start and you realize just how amazing it can be, it'll be really hard for you not to buy secondhand going forward. And I buy secondhand in a variety of different ways, whether it be charity shopping and Facebook Marketplace, secondhand apps like Vinted and Depop, or if it's for something a little bit more niche like a luxury bag or jewelry. I also follow a lot of secondhand Instagram pages as well. And if you are interested in the more luxury side of secondhand shopping, definitely go and follow me over on my Instagram, which I'll link below for you. That is where I share some of my favorite finds, my favorite pages, my favorite sellers. But I think when it comes to everyday habits, it's about changing your mentality towards shopping. So when you're thinking about something you want to buy, the first port of call should be secondhand. And then if you can't find it secondhand, to look on the first-hand market. And one of the questions I get on here sometimes is, are there certain items that you don't buy secondhand? And yes, there are. Things like underwear, which I mentioned. Sometimes things that may compromise on hygiene, such as like water bottles, swimming costumes, even some furniture, I would be a little bit more reserved to buy secondhand. But on the whole, if it's something that I can clean and sanitize well, I'm happy to buy it secondhand. What I really love to see is there is definitely a shift in people's mentality towards secondhand shopping. I know that when I was younger, like in my early 20s, maybe my late teens, quite a lot of people would look down on secondhand shopping, and there is still some of that out there. But I think definitely with the cost of living crisis and the rise in vintage and certain more positive terminology towards secondhand shopping, people's attitudes towards it are changing, which is brilliant. Not only from a financial point of view for your own pocket, but also from a sustainability point of view as well. So it's something that I'm really happy to see changing. And I absolutely love sharing tips and tricks on how you can best find pre-loved gems, because there is so much out there. I think you'd surprise yourself at just what you can find pre-loved. I would say my wardrobe is around 50% kind of premium luxury brands, but there's absolutely no way I've spent the price that my wardrobe would kind of retail recommended price be priced at, and I owe it all to the pre-loved market. So I feel great in my clothes, I feel luxurious, but I've done it in an affordable way that is within my price remit. It's a price point that I'm able to afford, so I don't feel like I'm compromising at all. In fact, I actually enjoy finding things secondhand. I find it really rewarding. I love, you know, really putting the time in to find something special, and it also means that when I do find something, I've really earned it and I know that I really love it, rather than just click, 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 and it just arrives at the door. Not only are the quality of my secondhand finds better than some of these fast fashion brands, but it also feels much more intentional, and therefore I love the pieces more, I care for them more, I enjoy wearing them more. Number 8, and this is more of an aesthetic sort of hack, and that is to decanter things into jars and nicer looking glassware if you want to cut costs on certain items. So an example, particularly when it comes to kitchen items, you don't need to buy the higher end brands of quite a lot of items, particularly things like raw ingredients, whether it be oats, sugar, nuts, things like that. They're all basically the same. If it's a raw ingredient, it's basically the same. The only difference is the packaging. So something that Alex and I eat a lot in our house are rolled oats. We love some porridge. We love like a cinnamon porridge with maple syrup and apple. But we buy the really, really cheap oats. We buy the 90p oats from Waitrose. They come in a big bag like this. Admittedly, they don't look very premium or bougie. So what I like to do is I just decanter them into a big glass mason jar. And immediately they look and feel like a premium oats brand. It's a psychological thing. It's really cheap and easy to do. I do the same with bath salts. My husband and I love to have a magnesium bath salt bath. And there are so many bath salts and magnesium bath salts on the market, but I buy a really big bag online. I think I pay maybe £5, but you can spend upwards of £30 on something like this. And all I do is, again, I decanter it into a really nice glass jar, and immediately it just looks more premium. I haven't spent a premium price, but it feels premium. And again, that goes back to my initial sort of introduction, is it's just about how you feel. You want to feel good on a daily basis. And if it's a really simple thing, like decantering something into a different jar or a different pot, and you're saving money on the actual price of the item, it's a really easy hack that you can do that doesn't cost a lot. And when it comes to my mason jars, I pick them up in charity shops, in thrift stores. I have a nice glass butter dish. I can buy a nice salted butter, put it in a nice glass butter dish, and immediately it feels heightened and elevated. Little things that we can do each day that really don't cost a lot, but make your day just feel that little bit more special. Number 9, and something else that's completely free that you can do, and that's to have a weekly home reset. And a reset really will vary on kind of what you value in your home. But for me, generally, it's things like changing over all the bed sheets, making everything smell nice, lighting a couple of candles, maybe refilling some of my candlesticks, just spritzing up the house, and that can take an hour out of a day, but it really changes your whole mood. And it's so nice to wake up the next day to see that everything's just been put in its place. It's completely free to do, but it makes a difference, and that's what this video is all about. It's about finding those affordable ways that you can just make each day feel a little bit better. And by doing this once a week, even if it is just a half an hour that you find or 20 minutes, it helps you stay on top of it as well. It's not only does it make you feel great, but it's also sort of like a maintenance that you can do to your home just to feel nice. And it can be really, really simple things, like even just turning down your own bed or having a little bit of an organizer in your fridge. I'm somebody that my space really impacts how I feel. Perhaps this isn't you and you're not actually bothered about your space, but if you're somebody like me who thrives in a more organized and comfortable space, that little hour every week really makes a difference. You can change what you do in your reset each week as well. Sometimes I'll have a week where I just focus on the linens cupboard, or I just focus on rolling up some towels, or perhaps there's a certain pile of laundry that's been building up in the corner for weeks and I just need to tackle it. You can choose what you do in your reset, but that 1 hour that you just focus on as a reset, it's really, really nice. So not only do I have a Monica 1 hour reset once a week where I focus on my home beauty, I also have a home reset, and it really, really makes me happy. And number 10, the final little affordable habit that you can adopt, and that's to only spend what you sell. This is something that I've been doing for around about a year now. Basically what I do, when I'm selling things online on my Vinted account or Depop or eBay, when I've sold something, I don't actually withdraw that money. I keep the money that I have earned from selling things, and that money then becomes my fund for buying more things. This works really well because not only is it a motivator for me to get rid of things that I no longer use or need, but it also means I'm not adding external money into my secondhand spending pot. It means I've actually got to sell things to buy more things. So let's say you've seen something that you really, really want, but you've not quite got enough in your account to buy it. It's like a motivator to go and find some things that maybe you can clear out. I think it's a really nice kind of circular system for buying and adding new pieces into your home. This can also work if perhaps you don't use apps, perhaps you sell on Facebook Marketplace, or you've done a car boot sale, or whatever it might be. Keep that money that you've earned separate, and that then is your pot that you can use to then go and buy more secondhand items. It's a nice, rewarding, but very effective way of not spending more than you earn. It keeps that ball rolling, keeps you motivated to declutter, to keep your space feeling fresh, but it also feels so good, you know, when you've sold enough to buy the item that you've really been wanting for a while. So I can see currently on my eBay that I've got £45 to spend. I'm probably gonna leave it there until I get to about £100, and then I might treat myself to something. It's almost like guilt-free money. That's how I feel when I use this little method. So those there were 10 habits and sort of frugal tips that you can adopt into your day-to-day life that will not only help you save money over time, but that will also contribute to living a more fulfilling or more luxurious, rich life, however you want to describe it. I would love to know which of these 10 tips you have found most helpful. And also if you've got any of your own that you want to share, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I have also left the link and the discount code to my gorgeous Comfelie bras down below. If you did enjoy this video and you are not yet subscribed, please do. I would love to see you here again. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. It's so good to be back chatting with you. I have absolutely missed making videos, so I'm hoping I'll be back in more of a routine now. And if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them below as well. As always, a huge thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.